I'm Mary McGinnis-Meyer with Field of Yoga Project, and today I'll be taking you through a yoga practice for teens. And Carly here will be demonstrating. So we're going to start off with a centering practice, and then we're going to go through the elements. So we'll go through fire poses, water poses, earth poses, and then we'll hit an air pose. Those are usually the most fun. And then we go through it again in a released version. So we go through fire, water, earth after that. And so follow along and have some fun with us. So begin by sitting tall and root down evenly through both of your sits bones. So you want to feel like you're equally weighted left and right with what's meeting the floor. Or if you're sitting on your heels like this, you're equally pressing down through each heel. And rest your awareness in the entire space occupied by your body. However you want to interpret that, let's just get our minds into the whole body instead of just kind of sitting on top of it, looking down at it. Right? Rest your awareness in the entire space occupied by your body. And set an intention for your practice. This can be something that you might need in what comes up next in your day. Maybe you're doing something that requires some focus or some confidence. Maybe it's something that you're working on longer term and you need some inner guidance for that. What I've been using a lot lately is inner guidance. So the nice thing about that is it's going to help you no matter what you're working on, to go to that place that you can rely on inside and bring out what you have. So set that intention. And on an exhale, lower your chin. And inhale, raise your head and open your eyes. And so now it's time to move. We're going to start off right away with fire pose. So we're going to come into a forearm plank. So this is a straight line. So Carly's going to have a straight line between shoulders and heels. So her hips aren't sitting too high or too low. And now let's count 5 breaths. So inhale and exhale. 1. Inhale. And exhale, 2. Inhale. Exhale, 3. So you might start to shake, but your breath can stay smooth. Inhale. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. So just lower it down, put your palms together overhead, put your feet together below, and breathe up and down your spine. So you inhale the fingertips, exhale to the soles of your feet. And then we do it again. All right, so we'll do it one more time. This will get your body really prepared for what comes next. So it's called fire poses because we're literally using the part of our body associated with fire, with your power. So inhale, exhale, 1. Inhale, exhale, 2. You're gonna let the space between your shoulder blades fall into the floor. Inhale, but try to keep the core lifted. Exhale, 3. Inhale. See if you can reach your tailbone to your heels. Exhale, 4. Inhale. Exhale, 5. Release it down. This time we'll do some of those fingertip cobras. So you're going to place your hands wider than the mat on the fingertips, and on the inhale you raise it up, and on the exhale, release, rest your head to one side. And then repeat that. So notice Carly isn't coming any higher than where her low ribs are on the mat, and that's to make sure that our upper back is receiving the back bend. Because that's the part of our back that tends to not be in extension during the day. It tends to round forward. So one more time, and then we're going to plank up from the floor. So take your hands in so that they're close to your ribs, and they're about 1/3 of the way down your ribs. Squeeze your midline together. So if you take your feet together, it's easier to squeeze your lower body together, make it solid. Big inhale, and then on the exhale, push forward and your hands come to the plank. And then take an inhale here, exhale into down dog. Okay, awesome. So in down dog, we're looking for an action of pushing the hands downward and forward. And that's gonna then extend the hips up and back. So it's gonna feel like this is happening, right? So getting nice and long along that whole line between wrists and hips. And next what we'll do is just come into a forward fold at the front of the mat, and we're moving into water poses. So we're just gonna be moving on the breath here, and that's how water works, right? It flows. So on your next inhale, come all the way up to standing and taking the back nice and straight. So she automatically did that, she knew that. Hands to heart center, right? So whenever we go into forward fold or come up from it, do so with a straight spine. We don't have to round or roll up. Okay, so recall your intention. It's a good time to do that. And then release your hands. And then we'll move through the sun salute, flowing on your breath, okay? So inhale, sweep the arms up through the side, Tadasana. Exhale, keep them extended. Come into forward fold, straight spine. Inhale, extension pose. So this is where you just lift up enough until the back is straight. And then exhale, place your hands, step it back to down dog. Inhale, take the right leg up, and exhale, sweep it forward, warrior two. So a really long stance, plant your back heel. Raise it up, and then we're gonna take the arms up to the side. Go ahead and face over to me. So your body will be turned to the side in this one. Front palm goes up, and then reverse it. So she's gonna reach way back. And so allow yourself to go as far back as you can, and allow this arm to come as close to your head as you can. Okay, maybe like 2 more breaths here. And also notice how awesome Carly's knee is right above her ankle, and it's tracking out to the side a little bit. Okay, so then we're gonna straighten it up and straighten the front leg, and we'll move into a triangle. Sometimes we like to hop the back foot forward a little, you decide. All right, so she's gonna reach her body forward into the triangle and breathe. Okay, so lots of extension and lift up. Take your whole back body into the back plane of the pose and breathe. All right, so we're preparing our bodies for an air pose where these poses will contribute to you being successful in that air pose. All right, so from here, we're just gonna bend the knee, place the hand, step it back to down dog. And then it's vinyasa time. Inhale out to a plank. Okay, and then exhale to lower it down. Point your elbows back when you lower, nice support through the core, awesome. Inhale, come to a high cobra. So that's gonna be, the lower ribs are off the mat, the elbows are still bent, and there's a sensation of trying to drag the hands back. Yeah, and the shoulders will wrap back. Awesome, curl the toes under. On an exhale, come right to down dog. Piking from your core, push forward into the hands, let the hips lift up. Then inhale, left leg up, exhale, sweep it forward. It's warrior two, plant the heel, raise it up. Okay, so establish your foundation first. The back foot is slightly turned forward. The knee is right above the ankle. Now turn your front palm up, do the reverse warrior, and look for where you might kind of check out in this instead of really being in your body and finding where you can grow more. So this time she really checked in on this side. She got the arm really extended back. Stay bent deep into your left knee. One more breath. And then we're gonna come out to warrior two and then to a triangle. So straighten up the front leg, okay? And then keeping your body right above that front leg, come into triangle. So as we lift up here, sometimes we have to remind ourselves to take that bottom shoulder back into the back plane of the pose. And you're breathing. And you're trusting that you're doing the work to prepare for a really fun pose. Coming up pretty soon. And then we're gonna place the hands. So bend your knee, place the hand, step it back to down dog. We're gonna get another vinyasa in here. And this time it's gonna be plank chaturanga without setting down. And then the up dog, which just has your feet and hands on the floor, no hips or thighs. So inhale out to the plank. Exhale, chaturanga. She shifts her weight way forward. And then inhale, up dog, moving the chest forward. Awesome, and the shoulders back. And then on an exhale, come into down dog. So again, length whenever you're in the down dog. Great opportunity to get some space in your back. Now look between your hands. You can step or hop to the front of the mat. And take an inhale there and extend yourself forward, and then an exhale, folding. And let your weight come forward onto the balls of your feet. And then we're gonna take the feet together, knees together, inhale, chair pose. So sweep your arms up through the side. All right, make sure that you've got weight in your heels and a lot of lift through your chest. I'm gonna take her up a little bit more. Yeah, so there's not so much lean forward. There's more bend backwards. Hands come to heart center, and then crown of the head reaches forward to make a straight axis, twist it to the right. All right, so she's rolling back by pushing her right palm down. Make sure that you're pushing down so that more happens in the twist. Get everything out of every pose that you can, because you want to be ready for that air pose. On an inhale, come to chair with the arms overhead again. And then on an exhale, place the hands at heart center and get deeper. You're gonna sit deeper. And then come all the way up. And now arc it to the right. So it's just like a side stretch. And try to keep your palms together because the pinky side is gonna wanna come apart. So just push it as straight as you can through the side. Inhale to raise back up. Exhale back to chair pose. Hands come to heart center. Inhale the crown of the head forward and the hips back. Exhale, twist to the left. All right, so you're turning it back by pushing the palm down. You're trying to get the center line between the hands more centered on your chest, and you'll see yourself turn up more. One more breath. And then an inhale back to chair with the arms up. And then an exhale, the hands come to heart center. Inhale all the way up, and you're gonna arc it to the left side. And when you arc it, remember to keep the palms nice and flat, but also try to push down through the opposite foot so you'll get more length on that side if you anchor the bottom of it down while you're reaching the top of it up. And then come back to raising up, and then hands come to heart center. Remember your intention again. And then we'll do a standing sequence. Okay, so this is the earth step. We're gonna be a little more stable with our poses. We're not gonna move through them on the breath. We're gonna stay with them a little longer. So the first one is half moon, and we're gonna get into it by working through a warrior three. Okay, so go ahead and take your arms up overhead, and then you're gonna balance on your right foot and stick your left foot back behind you, and then slowly move into an extension where your body is working to become more and more horizontal. And so she's looking out in front of her, and she's finding a spot where she can hold her gaze, and then she's looking a little closer to her. All right, so now from here, we're gonna transition to this thing called half moon. So it's gonna involve, go ahead and take both hands down to the floor, okay? And then start to lift your left hip up, up, up until your, is that your left? Mm-hmm. Okay, until your left hand comes off the floor. So you're gonna tip it and tip it and tip it. And then, yeah, and then it becomes this thing called a side angle. So in a side angle, like a triangle, you're trying to take all the weight into the back of the pose. Yeah, so it can get a little challenging because you feel like you're gonna fall over backwards. Unless somebody's holding on to you. Okay, so then let's step it back, and we're gonna do a twisting triangle. So go ahead and step it back, and then raise yourself up. Left arm raises up, we're gonna twist across the right leg. So go ahead and straighten your right leg and twist across, and try and get that hand outside of that leg, and then twist it up. Okay, so now you're gonna feel a little more stretch happening in your right leg. Try to reach your right hip back. It's hard, but see if you can do it. And then place your hands down and forward fold over this leg. Okay, so now you're letting your body just lengthen down the leg and feel whatever stretch there is to feel. This will be helpful when we get to the air pose. All right, we'll step it to the top of the mat. Take a moment in your forward fold. Let your weight fall evenly into both feet. And then we can come all the way up to standing. Hands come to heart center. We get to do it again. Let's recall our intention. So we're being very intentional on the second side. And then shift your weight onto the left foot. The right leg steps back behind you. Arms are overhead. As your leg raises up, your body just drops to balance the body based on how high the leg is. All right, and there's a tendency to lift your right hip, but Carly doesn't have that tendency. She's been doing a lot of yoga. So you want to keep dropping the right hip down, make sure it's not lifting up. Now hands go to the floor. Okay, and from here, you start to lift your right hip up. Now I know what side we're on. And we lift it up so much that the right hand has to come off the floor, and then it goes up to the sky. okay? And she's being really active through this back foot, so really trying to push back through the heel and trying to take your weight into the back plane and then step it back. So this is going to become a twisting triangle. So your length of stance is a little shorter than your non-twisting triangle, just so you know. The right arm goes up, we're going to take it across and come into a twist and roll it on back. Okay, so you want to feel like you're trying to take and spin your ribs up to the sky and trying to take this shoulder back in space, take your head back a little bit in space, one more breath, and then fold over that front leg. All right, so let your body hang and breathe and be very aware of your breath. Forward folds are a great time to kind of turn inward. So I mentioned that my intention has been inner guidance. It's because we have something inside of us, it's like an inner knowing, that we can really count on, and sometimes it just takes slowing down and remembering that. So go ahead and step it back into your down dog this time, because now we're going to go into air pose. So our air pose is going to be a side balance pose, so it's a side plank in which we get not just an arm off of the floor, but a leg too. Okay. So come out to a plank, and we're gonna come on to, how about we go to the left side first, just because, be better for camera angle. And then from there, what Carly's gonna do is she's gonna take her knee out in front of her and see if she can grab her toe. Then she's gonna take her knee up to the sky, and then she's gonna see if she can take her knee closer to her and then straighten, yeah, and all this kind of stuff. She's trying to turn it up a lot. So that's her air pose. Stay there for 10 more minutes. No? Cannot. Okay, so let's come out of that. And you get to try it on the other side, so that's always fun. All right, so we flip it to the other side. And from there, the top leg, you're going to take your knee towards your chest first, grab your toe. You might not be able to find it, that's okay. Then you're going to take the knee to the sky and try to straighten up your leg. And you're going to breathe and see how high you can lift that foot. I'm not going to help her on this side. She's got to do it all on her own. Again, trying to take your weight to the back plane of the pose so you almost feel like you're going to fall over. All right, awesome. This pose is called Vasisthasana. That was our air pose. Go ahead and come into down dog. And now we're going to go through some release poses. And since it's teen yoga, don't worry, they're not too releasey. They're still a lot of fun. All right, so from here we'll go into a flip dog. This is our fire release pose. It's how we release across the front body, how we stretch across that. Generally, this is by back bending. So how about we go, which leg you want to go first? I'll let you decide. All right, so what she's going to do is she's going to take her right leg up to the air in a three-legged dog, and she's just going to flip over. And so she can hang out here with one leg straight and one leg bent, or she can continue over and turn her fingers back, and look at, she ends up in a full wheel pose. Awesome. Next time I'll catch her. Okay? So then from there, your choice is come down to the floor, back to the down dog, or if you like, you can try to flip back out of that. Slippery. Yeah, so sometimes your mat will be slippery, and then hopefully you have a yoga teacher nearby to catch you. Okay. We'll see if it works this time. Let's go with left leg up. It's a three-legged dog. And then she flips it over. We can leave it here, especially if our mat is really slippery. Or we can see about pivoting the fingers back. And then, awesome, finding the mat with both hands. So it's something you'll have to play with. So you get to, try it, play with that at home. Instead of don't do this at home, I'm saying do it. Okay, so come on out of that. So that was our back bending. And then why don't you just take your knees on your chest for a moment, and we're going to do a twist right here on the mat. So the twist is the water release poses. It's like a spiral thing. So soles of the feet on the mat, I'm going to have you lift up your hips and move your hips to the right side of your mat and set them back down. Take your arms out at shoulder height, and then knees come up to chest, and then you're going to let your knees fall left. Okay. You're going to look back to the right and just breathe. So if you want more of a challenge with this, you can straighten out your legs on the left side. And then also just think that you're trying to lengthen your right side, kind of like what I'm doing here. You're trying to push your right hip away from you. All right, we'll come back up to center. And from center, we'll have to take and move the hips to the other side, the left side. Take your knees up and then let them fall to the right. Okay? For more of a challenge, you can extend your legs straight, you decide. Your gaze is back. And again, it's a lengthening. You want to feel like you're creating length between your left hip and your left shoulder. And then with that newfound length in your waist, you can turn your navel in that direction. So you're using your core to twist yourself more. And then we'll come back up. All right, and hips come to the center. And then for the final pose, it's a earth release pose, and these are poses that have a real grounding quality. I'm going to have you sit back up and just do a standard forward fold, a seated forward fold. So extend your legs out in front of you, and be sure that you're sitting kind of forward on your sits bones. So see how she's kind of rocking back and forth to get there. Take your arms up, okay? And now reach your ribs way long down towards like your ankles there, and see if you can keep an action that you're feeling like your whole rib cage is lifting and lengthening to take you deeper into the forward fold. See if you can pull your toes back towards you. Close your eyes for a moment. Okay, recall your intention and see about allowing yourself to just be aware of your breath. That's it, just the breath. On an inhale, come up, and we'll lay on our backs now and get a systematic relaxation in. So we'll start with soles of the feet together and let your knees flop out to the sides, and take a few breaths this way. While you're here, feel that your low back is coming up off the mat, and you're allowing it to do that because it needs to find its natural curve again after all the work that we did. And then raise your knees up to touch and extend your legs out. So the heels will be wider than your hips, and the toes will be wider than the heels. They kind of flop out. Turn your palms up, close your eyes. And this is your Shavasana. So it's a good time to rest awareness in the entire space occupied by the body again. Let your mind find all of the places that might need some attention. So if anything feels like it was particularly worked or stretched, then we put our awareness there when we find that place. And then we can return awareness to the entire space occupied by the body. And we might find something else, put your awareness there, breathe as if that area breathes. Yes, that's possible. And then continuing to return awareness to the entire space occupied by the body. And then rock your limbs side to side, right? And rock your head side to side. Take your knees into your chest. Okay, roll onto a side that's comfortable to roll onto, and take a couple breaths on that side. And then you're going to just continue to roll in that direction. Come up to the seat that you started with. So taking that centering seat, close your eyes. And recall your intention. Know that you've set this in motion, that it will continue on with you throughout your day. Okay, ride the momentum of your intention. On an exhale, lower your chin. Inhale, raise your head. Open your eyes. Namaste.